Hey guys, and welcome back to another YouTube video. So in today's video, I am going to be showing you how to set up OBS for the best possible screen recordings that you can get. So as a small YouTuber, personally, I use OBS, and that's what I've been using for all of my videos. I found it very easy to use, pretty intuitive, and just extremely simple, and obviously it's free, so that makes it very good. I know a lot of YouTubers use it, and when you first boot up OBS, so I've done that here, I have like a new kind of thing going here, it's pretty intimidating. You have all these different things, you have no idea what to do, and pretty much it's going to be pretty difficult to figure out what to do without looking up a tutorial. So this is going to go through video, audio, output, all the main things you need to do to set up your OBS. If you guys are looking for another tutorial on how to make your audio sound really good, I'm going to release another tutorial in the next few days, so make sure you're subscribed for that and you watch out for that. I'll play a little preview now of what that will sound like. So this is what my microphone sounds like without any processing, without any tuning, without any filters. This is just the bare bones mic, and all that is helping it is a pop filter. So now we've switched over to the tuned version of the microphone. You should hopefully hear a difference here. It's a little bit more bassier, there's not as much background sound, just a few small things that in a video add up just to make it sound a lot better. So let's get started with the video. So when we first open up OBS, I have this on here. This is probably what it's going to look like for you guys. Now, if you already have OBS, I'm going to suggest that you start off by just hitting Profile and hitting New. Even if you don't already have it, it's probably a good idea to do this. You're going to hit New, and then you're going to type in the name of your profile. So in this case, I already have a profile. I'm not going to create one, but you can just type in, say, the name of your YouTube channel. So Tech with Tim, like so. Okay, once you do that, you're going to see it pops up here. It's going to show your profile of basic recording. Now, these profiles, you can see I have two down here. They're going to show up down here. You're only going to have one because you just created one. And this is where you're going to be able to store your different settings. So this is very useful, for example, if you have one profile you want to use for streaming, one you want to use for video recording, one profile you have maybe with a webcam, with a different microphone, etc. It's extremely useful to have the different profiles. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to create a scene. Now you should probably already have one that says Untitled. If you don't, go ahead and just hit New, and again, I just named mine Screen Recording. You can name yours whatever you'd like. Once you've done that, you should see down here it's going to say something called Scene, and then to the right we have Sources. So this is where we're going to be setting up our different sources for OBS. Again, I'm just going to be showing you the basic source, which is going to be probably our main monitor. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to click the little plus button. We're going to go to first Display Capture. Now again, these are pretty intuitive. You have Game Capture, Image Slideshow, etc. So if you're just trying to capture, for example, a game or maybe just a window, then you're going to use the appropriate one. So if you don't want to capture the whole screen, you only want to capture maybe your Google Chrome window that doesn't take up the entire screen, you would just hit Window Capture. All right, I'm just going to be showing you the whole screen for right now. So we're going to go to Display Capture. You can call this whatever you want. I like to call mine Main Monitor because I do have two monitors. So this way I can tell which one I'm going to be recording, like that. We're going to do Make Source Visible, make sure that's checkmarked, and click OK. All right. So now you can see we have this infinite loop going through here, and all you're going to do here is select your display. So you see I have two different displays. Obviously, just select the display that you'd like to record and hit OK. Now, if you see here, you'll see your display comes up here. You have a little lock button. You can lock that so that you can't edit it. You can't change anything. And then you have a little eyeball. Now, I recommend if you're doing this and you only have one monitor while you're working on it, you probably just hit the little eyeball there. This just turns it on or off. It's extremely useful. Okay, now let's go on to another source. So now that we have our monitor capture like this, we need to capture our audio. Now it is to be noted that right now when I'm recording this video, I am using OBS. So yeah, just so you know. Okay, so now let's get our audio input. So let's hit the little plus button again. We're gonna do audio input capture. Again, I just like to name this the name of your mic. So in this case, I have a Blue Yeti mic, but I also have like a headset mic, a few other ones. So it's useful to name them appropriately. Blue Yeti, okay. And we're gonna select our microphone. So in this case, I am gonna select the Yeti stereo microphone, like so, and hit OK. All right, now you can see we have a little thing popping up here. It says Blue Yeti, and it shows my audio volumes as I'm speaking. So you'll notice that as I talk, we get the volumes moving up. Okay, now, so in the next video that I'm going to do, make sure you guys just subscribe for that again. We're going to be going through the filters on this microphone to make sure it sounds very good, and we're going to be going over some external plugins so that your audio can sound much better. All right, so now that we have our main monitor and we have our audio source, it's time to go through the settings. Now, this is very important. I'm pretty much just going to tell you to copy the settings that I'm using. So if you didn't see there, I just hit the little settings button. Another way to access it is just to go to File and then Settings. And we have a very confusing looking amount of settings here to go through. So General, let's just go through here. Language, obviously you're going to do whatever you want there. Here, you can play with those what you like, they're not really that important, and we can pretty much just ignore the rest of this general tab. We're going to go down to stream. Again, I'm not going to be showing you streaming in this video, just screen recording, so we're going to go down to output. All right, so now output mode, make sure this is set to simple. Now your video bitrate, this is pretty much, the higher this is, the better the video is going to look. So I like to just leave mine on 2500. If you have a very good CPU, very good graphics card, then you can put yours up to 3500. But typically 2500 is fine. That's what you're seeing right now. Unless you're recording a game and you really want it to look amazing, you probably don't need to play with this too much. Software encoder, just going to leave it on default here. Audio bitrate. Okay, so I like to put my audio bitrate up to 320. Again, this is going to use up more space in your file size, but that's okay. 320 audio bitrate. You can leave it on 160. Pretty much if you put it up to 320, it's just taking more bits for every sample. Okay, so now recording quality. So we're not going to set this as same as stream. We're going to put this to indistinguishable quality large file size. Now, if you really want your video to look amazing and you don't mind having gigabyte files for only a minute or two of recording, then you can go to this file size. But I'm telling you, it is much larger than this large file size. So right now, I have a video, it's about 7 minutes long that I'm recording right now, and it's probably going to be, I don't know, let's see, maybe like 300 megabytes. Probably not even. It'll probably be between 100 and 200 megabytes. If I was on tremendously large file size, this would be a few gigabytes already. So just keep that in mind. Okay. And now we're going to change the recording format. So FLV, I mean, you can use that if you want. I prefer just set mine to MV4. Really doesn't matter, just whatever ones that you prefer. Don't worry about this this error message here. It's not a big deal. Encoder, again, we're just going to use the regular software encoder. We don't need this low CPU preset. And yeah, that's about it for output. Okay, so now audio. So we're going to go for our desktop audio device. We're just going to set this to default. So pretty much this is going to allow us to have a device that records our desktop audio. So say, for example, if you're recording a game and you want to hear these sounds in the game, that's what we're going to be doing. Now for mic/auxiliary audio device, you can just leave this blank because we've already set an audio device down below. If you have another audio device that you want to set, then you can use that. Okay, so now for the sample rate and the channel. So this sample rate is going to depend on what your microphone is and the quality of your microphone. So you're gonna have to check the specs on your microphone. If you just have a headset mic, you're gonna want to leave this on 44.1. If you have like an expensive mic or a studio microphone, you're gonna set this to 48 Hertz. So I'm gonna set mine to 48 Hertz because I do have a Blue Yeti microphone. It says this program must be restarted. We can do that afterwards. Channel, just leave yours on stereo. That's fine. Audio meter decay rate, this doesn't matter. You can just leave that like that. And now to video. Okay, so this is important here. So we see here we have the base and canvas resolution. So this pretty much is just the resolution of the monitor that you're recording. Now your output or your scaled resolution. So if you have a decent computer, I'm not saying it has to be a god computer. You don't have to have like full custom built like 16 gigs of RAM. You don't need all that stuff. As long as your computer is somewhat modern, you're gonna want to make this output resolution the same as your regular resolution. So I'm going to set mine to 1920 by 1080 like so. And then we're going to go to downscale filter and we're going to set this up to the highest possible. So 32. Now the FPS. So this is going to be very important. So pretty much if we set this up higher to 60, for example, we're going to be taking double the amount of frames every second, right? So FPS, frames per second. you're only going to want to set this to 60 if you have a pretty good computer. Now, if you don't have a good computer, say maybe you're a generation or
Auto
two old,
shutdown initiated.
you don't have a great processor. The processor is what's the most important here. You're going to want to leave this on 30. Otherwise, you're going to notice if you're playing games or using anything that has like somewhat of a CPU usage, it's going to be lagging. So I'm going to set mine to 60. I'll tell you my specs right now. I have an i5 7700K. It's at 4.2 gigahertz. So it's pretty quick. Again, if you guys don't have an overclocked processor or you're not rocking an i7, you're probably not going to want to put this on 60. You can always try it, and if it doesn't work, just put it down to 30. But really, if you're not recording games, it's not going to make a huge deal to leave it on 30. Okay, so we're going to click OK. And then you can see we have this mic and auxiliary device here showing up. You can just mute this like so. And then we have this desktop audio that's showing up. So now this is, I don't know if I can get a sound to come out of my computer right now. Yeah, so pretty much any sounds that comes out of your computer, if you're playing a game, listening to music, etc., it's going to show up here. And you can adjust the audio levels by simply sliding the bar like so. And that goes for all of these. Now, if you want to do advanced audio settings, again, watch my next video coming out and I'll go over that. Okay, so let's go back into the settings for a second. I just wanted to show you that. And let's go back to video and then to advanced. Okay, so in advanced, we can go through here. And I think that might actually be it. So we'll leave this on normal, click apply. And I think that's everything for this tutorial. So this is just setting up your basic OBS. Now we've set everything up. We can see we have our profile, basic recording, our scene screen recording, and we have our Blue Yeti, our main monitor, and then we have our audio devices over here, which we can then either mute or turn them up in volume. In the next tutorial for this, so it's not going to be like directly linked to this, it's just going to be talking about how to increase your audio or make your audio sound better. We're going to be going through the filters here on the microphone. You guys can try playing around with them if you want right now, just to see what works for you. And yeah, so if you want to start recording, you go ahead, you hit start recording. And now this was something that I kind of was having trouble with when I was first doing this. If you hit start recording, it's going to start recording to a default path. So if you want to change this path, again, we can go to settings, output, and then you can just change your recording path right here, just so you know exactly where it's recording. I recommend you change this to just a dedicated folder, because if you're recording a lot of videos, you're gonna want to know exactly where they're going. Let's say, for example, you record a video and you don't know where it went. You can go to File, Show Recordings, and it will pop up where the videos will be saved to. Okay, so that has been the tutorial on how to set up OBS for quality screen recording. If you enjoyed and this helped you out, please leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you again in another video.